Testing, 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 testing. All right, I think we good. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Keys back with another weekly analysis stock slash futures live stream. Today is Sunday, May 3rd, 2026. We're finna get into our analysis for the week of May 4th through the 8th. Okay, so last week was really honestly it was a mixture last week. Overall, I guess you could say good week. Overall, it was a good week last week for us. The hiccups that we did have was, of course, of my own doing, you know. But overall, good week last week. Like I said, we did, like I said, on the last stream last week, we did end up blowing one of the fund accounts we had, but came back to it. We good. Got another one. We finna get another account this week, so um, hopefully we can have three funded accounts this week. Hopefully, we'll see. Um, but overall, it was a good week last week. Like I said, options we did good. We did good on our futures too. Last week, but could have had an even better week if we would have mostly just stopped trading once we was up. But overall, good week. So we going into this week with high hopes, high expectations, improving on ourselves from previous week. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna be honest. I'm excited for this week, man. I can see some good things happen. All right. Now let's get into it. First thing first, um, if you're new to this channel or just first time stopping by, we go over our weekly analysis on Sundays. Usually I do the live stream around 7, 8 o'clock at night. And if you miss the live stream, it will be uploaded as a video. So that's just let you know if you ever miss it, it will be a video. I will have a thumbnail that'll say weekly analysis. Got the week uh that is for on the title. All right. But first thing first, we go over our economic calendar first. If you're wondering where I get the economic calendar from, we get it from investing.com. I put it on 3-star news only, which is the high impact news, United States news only as well. So yeah, if you're wondering why their economic calendar super short, it's because we do that, man. We put on 3-star news, United States news only, because we only want to see when the market's gonna be extremely volatile. Other than that, we don't really mind the news that's coming out. All right. So looking at the economic calendar that we got up here right now, um, first thing first, looking at the top, I see that we have Tuesday, May 5th as the first date listed. So that means Monday, May 4th. Maybe don't even have, well, I'm not gonna say maybe we don't have any scheduled um high impact news on that day. As of right now. I always tell y'all to check y'all charts every morning, your calendars every morning, just because they pop up different events throughout the week. So it may say none as of right now, and then by the time we look in the morning, it'll have high impact news. But as of right now, Sunday, May 3rd, no news, high impact news scheduled for Monday, May 4th. Now, Tuesday, May 5th, 2026, we got 8:45 PMI coming out. 9 a.m. new home sales, 9 a.m. jolts, 9 a.m. Non-manufacturing prices, ISM. Then same thing, ISM PMI at 9 a.m. So Tuesday, May 5th, most of all the news is coming out at that 9 a.m. mark. We do got one 8:45. That is once market is already open. So you have to be careful. Market open at 8:30 for us. Gotta be careful, 8:45, that's 15 minutes after market open. 9 a.m., that's 30 minutes after market open, and that's the first hourly candle that we get to see. So be careful. Volatility should be coming in around that time. But give it if you want to trade through it, I just say lower your position size to where you're comfortable with if it get hard spikes for due to the volatility. Other than that, I say just stay away from it. Give it about till 9:15, 9:30 before you start back trading normal size. But definitely be looking out for that news. That's a lot of um events. What's that? 5 news events coming out around that time. So definitely be checking out for that. All right. Then going into Wednesday, May 6th, 2026. Um, we have 7:15 ADP non-farm employment change, 9:30 crude oil, and that is it. Just them 2 events. 7:15, of course, is before market open. Yes, I do think that's very important when it comes to non-farm. But it's before market open. We're not trading during that time. So other than when the market open at 8:30, we'll see how it reflects and how the market moves. But should be pretty smooth sailing on Wednesday. Only thing I'll say with Wednesday, I know we do expect Wednesday to potentially be that reversal day, so or pullback day. So we do gotta look out for that for Wednesday. And then at 9:30 crude oil. When it come over here to G.F.T. family, man, we look at crude oil as hit or miss. We really don't be sweating crude oil unless you trading crude oil. Sometimes it make the overall market move crazy. Most of the time it don't. It just affect the oil. So we'll trade through that 9:30 news on Wednesday, May 6th. Then Thursday, May 7th. We only got one thing scheduled. It's initial jobless claims at 7:30. Definitely important. Definitely high impactful news, but it is what at 7:30 before market open. So we're not too worried about that. Unless you swing trading some options or something. Not too worried about that. And then that's the only news we have scheduled for Thursday. So we should be smooth sailing the rest of Thursday. And then we close out the week May 8th, Friday, 7:30 average hourly earnings, non-farm payrolls at 7:30, and unemployment rate at 7:30. All high impact news. Definitely important. But it's what? Once again, what I just said is at 7:30. Is at 7:30. So not too worried about that. Of course, once market open at 8:30, we're gonna see how it moves and react from that news. But other than that, it's Friday though. I will say that it is Friday. And what do we expect on Fridays? We expect market to try to correct itself. So if market was moving down the whole time this week, Monday through Thursday, and it's really supposed to go make a new high for the weekly or something, Friday it usually just shoot up, spike up, because it's trying to go where it's supposed to be. If it's supposed to be a green candle and it's been red all week for that weekly, it flipped to that green that day. So definitely expect that on Fridays though. So even if Friday don't have any news, I still expect Friday to be potentially volatile if market is not where it's supposed to be at. Okay, so that is the economic calendar. If I had to rank the days for most important, I'm definitely putting Tuesday first. Um, really Tuesday, Friday, and we're doing Wednesday. Those my Monday. Monday don't got any news, but I think Monday potentially could move. I don't know. I'm not too sure with Monday. But really, it's Tuesday, Friday, and Wednesday the main. That's the order that I'm looking at. Tuesday the biggest day for me, I think. All right, going over the earnings for this week. Earnings for this week. This is the earnings calendar. If y'all wonder where I get this from, it's an Instagram page I get this from. I don't think I ever told y'all, but I guess y'all can see it. Um, it's an Instagram page called Earnings Whisperer. I just go to Instagram, screenshot the calendar. He drop it on Sunday. So if you ever want to know, dang, I done seen my shirt got a hole on the side. This is my high school team, so if y'all ever do a Q&A, y'all seen what school it was. That's my high school team that I went to. Um, but what we was talking about? Oh, the earnings report. We get it from Instagram, man. We get it from Instagram. Um, Earnings Whisper, and like I said, he posted on Sundays, and we just screenshot it. I like how he got it laid out, but that's how we do look for our earnings report. All right, looking at the earnings for this week, though, coming into this week, it's looking like it's gonna be a decent week. It looks like some decent earnings coming out. Uh, Give me 1 second. I'm pull up on my phone so I can see it a little bit better because it do be a little bit blurry due to the screenshot of Instagram. Give me 1 second. 1 second, y'all. Let me find this dang Instagram app. We're gonna pull it up. Earning. Okay, there we go. All right, coming into this week, starting off with Monday. Before the opening, let me see if there's anything that I'm familiar with. Before the opening, we don't see nothing that I'm too looking forward to. But after the close, I see Palantir. That's definitely usually be a fun one to trade. Palantir. So I definitely be check out Palantir. Maybe do Duolingo, Pinterest. I'm not Duolingo. I traded one time before a long time ago, but I think Duolingo when I traded it, it had the bi-weekly option contracts. So you buy it and it was like for the next 2 weeks. I think that's what it was. But really Palantir the main one for Monday that I might get my eye on. Going into Tuesday, before the open, we got Shopify, PayPal. Those two definitely are fun to check out. Pfizer, definitely like that. I think that's it. I mean, I never traded. Is that Harley Davidson? Yeah, I never traded that before, so I'm not too familiar how them charts look. But definitely Shopify, PayPal, the main two, I guess you could say for the pre-market. Now, after the close, we got big dog coming through. AMD. AMD been on a bull, like it been just moving to the upside this whole time, bro. Like it been at all-time highs. Been steadily holding up there. Honestly, AMD been a beautiful trade. We traded it like 2 weeks ago, in them loans to take us up to the all-time highs. It's been a nice chart. Last week I was supposed to grab some loans on AMD, but I just didn't. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't trade any options last week. Um, other than SPY QQQ. I just missed. I don't know why. I just missed out on my options plays last week. I don't know what it was. Maybe they just didn't hit the levels I needed them to hit. But AMD, I checked. I seen the chart last week, and I was like, "Hey, I should buy some loans," and I just didn't buy the loans, and it went right back to the all-time highs. But AMD chart definitely bullish. Y'all gonna see when we go over the charts. But AMD definitely like to look at that. Um, Super Micro. I think that's a good one to look. I don't know. I haven't traded Super Micro in a long time, but maybe look at that. AMC. I'm not sure about Asteria Labs. Sound like it's important, but I'm not too sure about it. Really, the main thing is AMD, Supermicro, and AMC, the main three. I'm looking at for Tuesday. All right, going into Wednesday, pre-market, we got Disney, Walt Disney. Before the open, we got Uber, um, CVS, and that's pretty much it. I think Uber and Disney is the main two that'll definitely be checking out. Uber and Disney. Then after the close, I see my boy right there, Arm. Arm after the close. The other ones I'm not too familiar with. They might be Snap. Snap, if some of y'all like looking at Snap. The other ones I'm not too familiar with. They might be some good ones, like that INQ and stuff. I'm not sure if that's good or not. But definitely Arm. I know about Arm. Arm and Snap. Uh Thursday. So far this earnings report got every day it's been something that I would like to check out. So far this earnings report is pretty solid, pretty balanced. Thursday, before open, I see we got Celsius, we got McDonald's. McDonald's is a steady um stock. I think McDonald's is almost. It ain't exactly Wal. I think Walmart's. I think I told y'all before. I like Walmart for a long term because it's just steadily climbing. I think McDonald's steady climb too, but I don't think it's as like how Walmart chart is smooth. But I ain't look at McDonald's chart in a while, so I had to check it out. But definitely, I like looking at McDonald's for earnings though, and Celsius potentially. After the close of Thursday, maybe Open Door. I just cause I heard of them, I never traded it. Oh, Coinbase is this week. Oh man, y'all gonna see on when we get to the charts, man. Coinbase was one I was trying to look for because I was looking at the chart. I said, "Dang, Coinbase is like a decent chart to trade." But me knowing they earnings coming this week, I know them contracts gonna be expensive, but it's alright, man. It's okay. But Coinbase definitely one I'll be checking out. Um, Maybe Open Door and Coinbase the main two right there on Thursday, and then going into Friday we got Wendy's. Who else? Wendy's. I think that's really the only thing that look familiar to me. It's a decent Friday, I guess. And if it is some that I went over and didn't recognize, and you like, hey Keith, this chart fire, oh, this company good when it comes to earnings. Go ahead and comment down below and let me know. Comment down below, let me know if you want me to check it out or anything. But that's the earnings report for this week. Like I said, pretty solid earnings report, man. Really, almost every day is something. Like it's something that can potentially move off them earnings. So definitely looking forward to these earning plays. And it's a lot of I guess you could say smaller cap stocks and stuff. So it's a little more budget friendly if you're trying to buy the options than if you're trying to get Apple and Netflix and all that. Okay, so all right, let's get on into these charts, man. And it really don't got we really don't got to be on these charts too long today, cause um we at these all time highs with a lot of stuff, so it's real simple. I ain't gonna say it's simple to trade, but it's simple to chart if you get what I'm saying. The first thing first, let's go over SPY and QQQ. Okay, going into the charts, looking at SPY first off. Today is May 3rd, so tomorrow's the 4th. Friday was the first day of the new monthly calendar. So let's go to the monthly. It was the first day of the new monthly calendar. We just finished of April. So let's go ahead and check it out. Looking at this monthly calendar. Previous month, April, we ended up closing a solid green candle. Very bullish, solid, nice big body on it. Yeah, it's telling the market the bulls are in control. We had a high, low, higher high, then we made a lower low. Broke the trend a little bit. But then we came right back and made a higher high. Came right back and made a higher high. Biggest thing we're watching for this monthly is, do we continue to keep pushing higher? That's what we kind of expecting, is continue to push higher. We could see a pullback, but we're not anticipating it until we get that red counter. Once we get a red monthly counter, then we'll be like, okay, it's in the pullback stage. And then we waiting to see if we can fully make that uptrend back again. Because right now we're kind of in the bulls are in control, but we're kind of in that potential get ready for consolidation area. You get what I'm saying? So reason why I say this is because we got a lower low with a higher high. A trend needs what? If it's an uptrend, need higher high, higher low. Downtrend need lower low with a lower high. Well, we get neither of the two. Okay, we got neither of the two right now. So you got to kind of be careful. But all in all, last thing we did was make a higher high. So the bulls should be our main priority for the monthly. Okay. Now what's the targets for the monthly? The target was just to beat the previous month high. If we look at it right now, as this market opened up for the new month, what it already did, it already took the high. So it already did its job at this point. At this point, we're at the mercy of the market. Okay, it already did its job. It took the previous month high. So now it can either, like we said, you can either go in and come down, make this red candle, or if we start building base above that previous month high, start building uptrend above it, we can start, moving to the upside. staying bullish. Okay. Looking at the monthly, I really want to see if we, like I said, stay above this previous high, which is 719.79. Any uptrend above there, I like to take longs. As long as we underneath there, I'm gonna be a little bit hesitant because I could take shorts, but I really don't want to take the shorts. Not off of no green month. Okay, not off of green month. Unless if the daily just give me a downtrend, then I just gotta go with the short. But I normally will want to only look for these longs. Okay. All right. Like biggest thing we taking from this is um what do we do at that 719.79 level? Do we stay underneath it? Do we stay above it? That's the biggest question. All right. Going to the weekly. Looking at the weekly, it's extremely bullish right now, man. Just made a higher high. We broke downtrends here. We had low, high, lower, low. Made that downtrend. We broke it. Broke it on this April 13th from a weekly candle, and we just been moving up the whole time since. We ended up also breaking these highs with the April 13th candle. Also, we broke these highs, which was 695.94, and we just had green weeks after that. We never came back and retested to see if we want to stay above. We never made a higher low above it, so we got to be careful with that. Since we never had our first red candle above it, we got to be careful. We still want to go long just because it's still green candles. Okay, it's still green. We're going to ride the wave. But when that first red weekly candle come, that's going to let us know, are we finna really start making an uptrend, or is we just finna come back down? Like I said, with the monthly, we had a lower low with a higher high. Same thing for the weekly. We got a lower low with a higher high. No trend. It's just pretty much giving us a range as of right now to potentially consolidate. But we're going to really know if we're going to consolidate or trend once we finally get a red weekly candle. But as of now, it's all green, so we're just going to stay with the longs until they finally give us a red weekly candle. Okay? All right, and that's simple as that. Now going down to that daily, this is where we do our charting. Looking at the daily, on that daily, we actually did make uptrends on the daily. We broke previous highs back here. We broke that 695 area. Yeah, 695 area up right here on April 16th. And then we actually made higher high, higher low, higher high. Let me see. Zoom in. We made higher high, low. All right, low, then higher high. Okay. So we actually made that uptrend on the daily. We did make the uptrend on daily, and that's what we're gonna follow for now on this daily. Okay. Looking at the daily last week, like I said, we got higher high, higher low, higher high. Last candle that we had for Friday was a red candle. So what is red telling us? Market is looking for some type of low. Is it gonna be a higher low? Is it gonna be a lower low? That's the question. Is it gonna lead us to a lower low? We know we making some type of low, so that's giving us potential entry if we're wanting to go long, okay? Because where do we want to buy it when we in the uptrend? We want to buy it on them pullbacks. So this is setting up for a potential pullback and look for potential longs, okay? But since it's a red candle, I really want to wait until we get our green candle to tell us, hey, we're going back up, okay? So I'm gonna just let it come down, let the market come down, and see how far it want to drop. Now, biggest thing that we're watching on here is, yes, it's a red candle, but we don't want to see market come below this previous low if we want to stay bullish, which is 708.37. That's the main target level we're watching. We don't want market to come across below there, okay, to keep this uptrend going. If it breaks past there, then the next level we're watching that we don't want it to break below is 702.28, okay. There are the main key levels that we're watching that we want to see markets stay above so we can take some long entries, okay. Looking at also this data, we did leave a small slight gap between the 720.65 and 719.79. I'm gonna be honest, I don't expect us to bounce right here. Just because we closed red and it was a small gap, I think we will just come straight down. Biggest thing though I'm looking to see is, yes, we can come down, but like I said, don't break 708, and I don't want to see a downtrend. If I see a downtrend, then I'm thinking we're going down at 708. So if I see low, high, lower, low, I'm thinking we're coming down to that 708 level, and I'll take the shorts down to it. Just because I don't see any other daily gaps, like fair value gaps or regular gaps, in between that space. This is the only one that I see. So we get a downtrend, I'm almost, you know what I'm saying, confident that we're coming down to 708. All right, and that's off the daily. Looking at the hourly though, real quick, because like I said, the daily we really just only got that one gap, and I kind of think we're gonna go below it. So based on the hourly, this is where I potentially can see some bounce for some loans. Looking at that hourly, my bad. On SPY, we're in a downtrend on that hourly right here. We got low, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, potentially lower, low. We got the red candles. It should be trying to come down there to that low. Unless it gap up, unless it gaps up. But I can see a potential bounce coming around this 718, 717 area potentially. Also, it's another gap down here, but I didn't mark because they're so close to each other. But 716 down to 715, see potential bounce here. But biggest thing I want to see, since we're wanting to be bullish, like I said, I want a daily green candle, to really make it, let me know market is trying to go back and make a high. Going back to the 724.87 level. But if I want to get in a little bit early, before a green candle come, I want to see an hourly candle the hourly make an uptrend. That's what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for an uptrend on the hourly. Then we can take some longs. Okay. All right. Simple as that. So biggest thing to take from that is we don't want market going below 708.37, and we're aiming for this previous high at 724.87. Okay. So that's, if we get a daily green candle, I'm ready to go long, aiming for 724. If we get an hourly uptrend, same thing, ready to go long, looking for 724. Going over to QQQ week. Let's go to the monthly real quick first. It should be pretty simple, just like with SPY. Close extremely bullish. Close above previous highs. Really want to see, do we build an uptrend above these previous highs, or even if we build uptrend above this previous month high. The previous month high was 668.90. So as long as we got an uptrend above here, I like the longs. If we go below it and make downtrend underneath it, probably come retest these highs down here around at 635.80 and see if we can build base above here to go higher. Okay. Also the monthly, the target was the previous month's high. It already took it out. So like I said with SPY, we're at the mercy of the market. It can do whatever it wants to do at this point because it already completed its submission. Okay. Going to that weekly, same thing. This SPY is extremely bullish. We haven't had a pullback yet. Gotta see what a pullback do because we got a lower low with a higher high. We really want to see the trend form. So once that first red weekly candle come, we're gonna have to be careful because, like I said, it could just not make a trend and consolidate. Okay, because so it'll give you a red candle and then you get a green. You trying to go long, look for them highs, and it might just not go back up to them highs because it's trying to consolidate. Okay. All right, going down to the daily, this is where we do the charting. It's really the same thing as SPY, pretty much, except SPY did have a red daily candle. SPY did have a red daily candle for Friday, where QQQ got a green daily candle. So they're both at two different odds or 2 different points on the chart. So SPY, we're expecting some type of pullback. QQQ, we shouldn't be really expecting a pullback because it's still green. Well, I'm gonna say we should be expecting a pullback because it already made higher highs, and what kept after higher highs is higher lows, but it didn't give us a red candle yet. indicating that it's going to do a pullback. That's what I'll say. We haven't had a red candle yet indicating that we're going to do a pullback. Like how SPY got. So still be careful. It's still bullish, but be careful because, like I said, we're already at the higher high points. So you probably wouldn't want to go full size that you normally do until we get that pullback to give you a better entry. Looking at QQQ, target is previous candle high, which is 675.97. We don't want market going below this last higher low at 645.52. Really don't see no gap. Did we hold on? Let me see. Is that a gap? I don't think we got any. Yeah, we got one gap right here. Let me see if I marked it. I don't even know if I marked it. No, I didn't. I didn't. Let's mark that out. I thought mark that out. I see it. Slight gap here. So this could be potentially where we might bounce at if we get a pullback. Might bounce at that 660, 69 and 659 level. So we finally, if we do get red candles or even make a downtrend, we might come bounce down here, and that's where we might look for the longs. But like I said, it's a green candle, so I'm not really looking for that bounce just yet till I see a red candle come. Okay. But as for me, honestly, once the daily wise, there's no entries until we get a pullback. Honestly, you gambling if you just jump in longs on the day. You gambling because you don't have your last solidified level all the way down at 630, 645. That's a huge gap. That's $30 stop loss basically. So, you kind of gambling on that daily. Since it's all green candles for QQ, we gotta trade on the lower time frame and find levels on the lower time frame to trade off of. So looking at the lower time frame, we actually got higher high, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So we can use this 6, and forgive me for saying it in a row, 6 number level for our can't beat level. Okay, because that's a higher low that we have. And we also got a gap that's conveniently right above it. Could potentially look for them loans off of this gap to go back and take this high out at 675.97. But I'm not gonna be shocked if we come down and break the gap and even break this level potentially. I won't be shocked just because SPY being a red counter, we could come down and break all this. I'm not too sure. We just have to see. But the biggest thing we're looking for is once it make an uptrend on this lower time frame, we ready to go long, aiming for that 675.97 level. Okay, that's pretty much it. We just look for that uptrend. Now let's go over to MNQ, MYM, MNQ. Looking at the monthly on MNQ, close extremely bullish. Same thing, lower low with a higher high. Same exact thing as QQQ. And I meant to take these off, y'all. My bad. I remember last stream we did say we was gonna take these off. I'll figure out how to take them news events off. But made a higher high, went lower low. I already took previous month high, so we're at the mercy of the market at this point. Want to see what it does. Do we stay above 27,624.50, or do we come back below and potentially retest these highs over here? Going over to the daily, I'm not gonna go to the weekly on this. Going to that daily, bullish. You know, we got high, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high. So we're in the uptrend. Biggest level we watching out for is staying above these lows right here at 27,006. Target is this highs here but we already took it at 27,917. So we already hit our target today when market opened and ended up taking that high. But since it already took our target, biggest thing we're gonna watch is, do we build an uptrend above it to continue going higher, or do we make a downtrend below it to show that we want to come down? So that's the biggest thing we're watching out for. Really, you kind of got to just trade on the lower time frame. You can't trade on the daily. Okay. Um, and then like I said, if we get a red daily candle, then I know we're doing some type of pullback. We do got daily gap sitting here that we could bounce off of. Um, really, that'd be the better option is for us to get a red daily candle to let us be able to get some pullbacks on that daily chart to get better entries. But even if it don't give it to us, we know what to look for. Do it build a base above that 27,917? Okay, that's the biggest thing. Do we build a base above it? All right, and then dropping down to that hourly, pretty much look just like QQQ. So consolidating here, we got higher high, lower low, higher high, consolidating. All right, going to MYM. MYM monthly, high drawings. MYM monthly, closed green. Closed green, we got higher high, low. It should be leading us to a higher high. I think we've been in the uptrend, haven't we? We got high, lower low. Oh, okay. We ain't full fledged uptrend just yet. Never mind. So we got a higher high with a lower low. Then we made another higher high and just a low. So if we break this high, then we'd be full fledged uptrend. Oh, give me a second. My dang. Ugh. Nose itching a little bit. But we're not full fledged uptrend, but we potentially can be. If we break these highs up here, it'll be full fledged uptrend, and that low will be this 45,051. So I definitely want to see if we break this high, see what we do, because it is full fledged uptrend. I dang near just grab along and just let it run. But we closed green for the monthly. I can't say that. We closed green for the monthly. Monthly target is to take previous month's high. It already did it, so we're at the mercy of what? The charts of the market. Do we build a base above this previous month high, which is 50,045, or do we make downtrends underneath it to keep pushing lower? Right now, it looks like potentially taking them downtrends underneath it, but that's our key level for the monthly, 50,045. Going to a daily, look at the daily. We're in an uptrend. We got higher high, higher low, higher high. Okay, so we got uptrend going on. This most recent section is not an uptrend just yet because we got lower low and higher high. But if you look at this bigger section, we got higher high, lower low, higher high. Okay. Really biggest thing I look for NYM when we get our green candle. Once we get our green candle, whatever the lowest candle is after this green candle, so after this Thursday candle, save this this Friday candle is the lowest point, and then Monday we close green. I look for them longs to come back to these highs, and I'm gonna use that Friday candle low as my stop loss. Okay. Or overall stop loss. Y'all know this is futures with a prop firm. We can't hold it more than one day, so I can't swing it until it take the high like I would with options. But that'll be my overall stop loss, I guess you could say. But it's bullish right now. The low we're watching that we don't want it to take now is this green candle low at 48,607. The high we were targeting is 50,137. So we just really went on it to go back bullish, let the bulls get back in control. Right now the bears in control just because it closed red. Waiting on a green daily candle to come up pretty much. All right, and even looking on that hourly, it's in the downtrend, got low, high, lower, low, potentially lower, high. It should be coming down to these lows on the hourly. All right. And then now let's get into these stocks, and then we're going to call it a night. Dang, how I get myself on there. My bad, y'all. Y'all probably like, dang, we got to see him twice. All right, so now let's get into these last couple stocks, and then we're gonna call it a night, man. We're gonna call it a night. So, first thing first, my main watch for this week, man. Tesla. That's my main one. Tesla. It's looking. I ain't gonna lie. Tesla started looking potentially good, man. They got some potential, and they look like early too. Looking at Tesla, let's first go to that monthly real quick. Monthly for Tesla. Yes, we are in a downtrend for this most recent section. Okay, we got. Well, actually, we ain't even in the downtrend just yet because we got a higher high with a lower low, so it's really consolidating basically. Um, higher high with a lower low. Okay. Last month we closed green, right? Telling us market looking for some type of high. We don't know if it's gonna take us back to a higher high. We don't know if it's gonna be a lower high, you know. But we know we look for some type of high. By me knowing that, instantly first trigger what? Being bullish. Being bullish right now. I'm bullish just because it's closed green. Um yeah, so monthly pretty much that's the main thing I want to show y'all. We got our first green count after a series of red. So it's telling me to look potentially go long. Looking at that weekly. Weekly, we got. Of course, we in a downtrend on the week. Now, this is where you be like, hey, Keith, now you kind of going against the trend, but we see what you seeing. You know what I'm saying? We got low, high, lower, low, low, high, low, low. So we in a downtrend right here, right? Then we made a high. It ain't a higher high yet, so we still in that downtrend form. We made a high, then we made a low. Okay. So after I see that red count, I'm supposed to be thinking, what? Man, we supposed to be making a downtrend. Like we should be going down, making a lower low. But what ended up happening, we ended up flipping back green last week. We closed green last week. So that kind of triggered my head. Either we're stalling before we go back down, or we're stalling to move back up. Okay. Last week was a green week. Monthly was green. Kind of got me thinking, go long. Okay. I'm looking for them longs. I still, like I said, it's still overall downtrend. So I won't be surprised if it consolidate and then drop, you know. But if it end up switching to an uptrend, we end up getting a higher high. That's an uptrend at that point, you know. We got high, low. All we need is that higher high. But it's telling me two signals of potentially going long. Okay. Then I drop down to that daily. I look at the daily. Now the daily, on the other hand, daily switched to an uptrend. So we actually in an uptrend on the daily. We got high, low, higher high. We made a higher high on Thursday. Thursday we made that higher high. Okay. Made that higher high, made that uptrend. I wish I seen it on Thursday because I would have bought it for Friday and took the longs, but it is what it is. So we in an uptrend on Tesla on the daily. So it's bullish on the daily. The weekly potentially finna turn bullish. You see that? Potentially finna turn bullish, and then the monthly bullish just because it's a green count. Okay, it's not an uptrend though. You know, on the week, on the monthly. Weekly not an uptrend just yet, but it's potentially finna be an uptrend. Then, like we said, daily is an uptrend, so that make me want to go long. So, looking like I said, me want to go long, and it's already in the uptrend. I kind of wish that I caught it when it first made the uptrend right here, like I said on Thursday. That's the better entry. That I could set my stops at the low of this Thursday candle, which is 368. But it's okay. It's fine. You still got plenty of room because the next target level is either this daily gap that we're sitting in. It's where we potentially can reverse it that we're currently sitting at 691, 391, or even these highs at 409. Okay, and that's what I'm kind of targeting. I'm targeting that 409 level. Put our drawings on. As you can see, I marked out the gap that we had right there. I see that we're kind of stalling there, and I don't mind it. You know, I don't mind it, but I would like to see a potential pullback back down to these other daily gaps, down to potentially like 380, 381, 382. And then that's where I like to grab them longs to aim for that 409 level. Like I said, stops will be this low at 368. and we just swinging it for a pretty much a 1 or 2 risk reward. Now I could, if my say market don't come down to the daily gap, I could, I could look for them longs at the top of this daily gap up here at 392. Possibly look for that bounce there. I'm trying to move this up. Why it ain't? There you go. Could look for it up here, but look at my risk reward. It's not. I will have to get in based off the hourly and use hourly levels as my stop loss instead. So like if it build a base above here, like that, I had to use like this as my stop loss instead of a 368. And I can do that, but I feel like it's a chance of me getting wicked out and then it's shooting all the way back up. So I would prefer for it to come down here to give me that better risk reward. Alright. But y'all see what I'm looking for, Tesla, man. It's already in the uptrend. I already clearly see the next target. The weekly like that's gonna be the target. It's just almost like a layup. It's almost saying, bro, just go long, bro. That's what it looked like to me, bro. I'm gonna be honest, it just look like go long. All I really want to see is that 382 area to get touched. So I'm gonna set alert at 384. We can get that pull back down to it. Alright, so that's my top play right there. I like Tesla chart a lot. Definitely like Tesla chart. Next is ARM. But I see that they got earnings, so it's like, I don't know if I want to play with the earnings. But looking at ARM, going over to that monthly, green monthly candle. We closed green, closed past previous highs. We're bullish. We got high, low, higher, high. Bullish right now. That it is bullish. That's all I can say is bullish right now. On the monthly. Going to that weekly, we also on the uptrend on the weekly. High, low, higher, high. In the uptrend on the weekly. Closed green for the previous week. Oh no, actually my bad. I'm sorry. Closed red for the previous week. The week before that we closed green. So closing red telling us what? We're making some type of low. And I really would look forward to this being a new higher low to keep this uptrend going. Okay. But me seeing this weekly now, it kind of got me on the fence a little bit. Because I didn't know, maybe I just didn't go to the weekly. That it did close red. So it's telling us we coming down. But overall, it's still bullish. But it's telling us we coming down. I would have preferred to get in on a green week to tell us, hey, we're going back up. But this could be that green week because we got the earnings, So this could be that green week. So we have to see. Going to that daily. Now, the daily, oh, that what it was. ARM it's my second. It's like probably should be number 3 on my list. Because it wasn't like my A plus trade. It was like I could see it potentially developing. That what it was. I remember now. By going to the daily, it reminded. Looking at the daily, we were bullish, right? We're bullish. We got higher highs, right? But then we made a low, right? We made a low, high, lower low. But then we just broke it. We just made a higher high. See that? We just broke, made a higher high. This is what it was. ARM, I was saying, it's potentially finished reverse. That's what it is. So this really should be like number 3 on my list. I guess I just didn't put it in the correct order, but it is what it is. But we had a low. We had a low. Had our low, high, lower low. So downtrend. But then instantly we made a higher high. Okay, so potentially I can see us making a higher low, then making another higher high, and then that's when I'm aiming for that 237.68 level. Okay. So with ARM, all I'm really looking for is I want us to get one red daily day, and then flip back green, make a higher high. As soon as this daily turns to an uptrend, I'm looking for them longs back up to 237. Honestly, I don't mind if it can do it underneath this daily gap. It can make that, higher low underneath it. As long as I see that uptrend form, as long as we don't continue this downtrend. Go back to a downtrend. I'm looking for the 237 to get taken out. So ARM is like potentially finna develop. That's what it was for me. We just made a higher high after having a downtrend. All I need now is a higher low with a higher high, and I'm good. Okay. But if ARM don't want to give us the opportunity and they just want to go straight up to the highs, then I'm not gonna touch it. Like if we just get all green candles, I'm not gonna touch it. Okay. Or even if we get all green candles and get real close, and then get a red and then green making an uptrend here, I'm not gonna touch it either because it's just too close to target at that point. I really wanted to stay underneath like 218 if it can, or I say at least underneath 227. We can stay underneath. If I can get an entry underneath 227, then I'll take it because that's still a $10 move. Okay? But ARM potentially setting up for it though. That's why I had ARM on there. But like I said, they got earnings this week. The contract's gonna be a little bit expensive, so I don't even know if I'm gonna trade it since I've seen that they got earnings and it's not fully developed just yet. All right, Microsoft. Now this one should be developed, I think. Yeah, the Microsoft. No, not all the way. It's almost there. This one potential too. Microsoft. Let's go to the monthly real quick. Monthly was green. Okay. Did we make a downtrend? We got 552.24. Yeah, we in a downtrend. We got low, high, lower, low. It's in a downtrend. Did close green for the previous month, so it's telling us, hey, we're making some type of high. If we want to stay in this downtrend, it need to be a lower high. Okay. So biggest thing, we just need a red monthly candle. We should be coming back down, take these lows at 355. As long as we don't come back up and either one make an uptrend or we don't come back up and take these highs at 552. Going to that weekly. Weekly switched bullish. Weekly got a high, low, higher high, so it switched to an uptrend. But previous week was red, telling us we're making some type of low. Now, is it going to be a higher low, or is it going to lead us to breaking this uptrend and making a lower low? That's the question. Going to the daily. So weekly, if we get a green weekly candle, then I gotta go long, to go back to these highs. But if we continue to, close red, until we take these lows out, then of course it breaks that uptrend. Going to that daily. Daily is bearish. So it's like the monthly bearish, the weekly is bullish, but then the daily bearish. So it's like it's trying to make a decision basically. We got high, low, lower high, lower low. So biggest level we don't want market to break is at 429.56 level. 429.92 level. 429.92 level. Because that's our last lower high. I see we got a daily gap here, so I was like, hey, we potentially will drop right in this area. I could see us go up a little higher. We could go up a little higher, then drop after tapping the other side of this gap at 420. But I'm just gonna put it here because I want us to be red candle underneath for that 414 level. Okay, red candle underneath there. I like them shorts back down to that 398 level. So really, Microsoft already in the downtrend. Unlike ARM, it's getting ready for its uptrend. Microsoft, on the other hand, is already in the downtrend. We just need a red daily candle at this point. That's all. So once I get a red daily candle, I'm liking the shorts down to 398. Okay. So yeah, this should be over ARM just because it's already in the downtrend. Coinbase. This is one I was telling you about earlier. This is another trade that is already set. Coinbase dang near actually it's already done basically. Like it already gave me what I need to get into the trade. But looking at the monthly on Coinbase, we're in a downtrend for the most recent section. We got low, high, lower, low. Okay, then we made a high, 2 monthly green candles. We just need 1 monthly red candle to keep this downtrend going, and we should be aiming for this low at 139.36. Okay, One red monthly candle, we aim for them lows. Like I said, previous month did close green, but it did fail to close above the previous month high. So, gonna see what it wants to do on that monthly. Weekly is bullish, so it kind of look like Microsoft a little bit. The monthly is bearish, the weekly is bullish. We got high, low, higher, high. So it's in the uptrend, but the previous 2 weeks was red, and it also closed inside this weekly gap, so it disrespected that one. Closed inside this weekly gap as well, so it's disrespecting these weekly gaps. So it could be trying to lead to come make this lower low, but it has to break this low down here at 163.13 to break this uptrend. But like I said, monthly is bearish, weekly is bullish. Drop down to the daily. The daily is, like we said, just like with SPY. Um, it's, I mean, not with SPY, just like with Microsoft. It is, my bad, y'all. It is, give me 1 second. I'm gonna have to turn the camera off for just a quick second. But I'm still gonna talk, still gonna talk. It's bearish. It's bearish on this daily. We got low, high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Yeah, lower high, lower low. Then we got another high with this green candle. Then we flip the red. So we should be what? If we want to keep this downtrend, we should be coming down to come take this, make another lower low. So we should be taking this 177.62 level out. Okay. So we look at our drawings. That's what we got. We're looking for a market to stay below 195.94. Yeah, 195, 194. This is this previous lower high. We closed red, so we already got our signal right there. The red candle telling us to come down. So honestly, we should already be in this trade at this point. But we ain't in it, so we gonna look for it literally on Monday. So I probably need to put this at the top, right up there with Tesla. But the thing is, Tesla don't have earnings, so the contract should be normal pricing. Coinbase do got earnings, so and it's gonna be Monday, so I don't know. We might just have to miss out on this Coinbase trade, just because one, I don't usually buy options on Mondays or Tuesdays usually, because it be overpriced, and then it's earnings, so I know it's gonna be overpriced at that point. But I'm gonna still look at it and see, but we might not be able to get in this trade, even though it look like an A+ trade right now. What I was gonna say, yeah, stops at 195. We're targeting at 177. That's pretty much a 1 to 2.3 risk reward. Beautiful, beautiful trade. That's nice risk reward. We like that trade. We like that trade a lot. And pretty much that's it. I think AMD. Let me see. AMD. I can look for AMD, but it's kind of risky at this point. AMD just made a new higher high. The last higher low is at 310. It's at 360s. So it's like kind of risky to trade AMD. Other than like if I trade it hourly and see if we can stay above 352, maybe I can do that. Like as long as we got an uptrend going, get in on AMD based off the hourly. But other than that, it's just too risky for AMD. Maybe we could do that. That's about it. Meta and CrowdStrike, y'all know those usually my main two. I like to trade, but I don't like how their charts looking. Um, Meta is it made a downtrend, but it's just so far down that low, so far down compared to the previous solidified level, which is at 673. We sit at 608. That's too far for me, you know, too far. So I need a pullback and then another red counter to potentially make me want to get in. So can't get in on Meta. CrowdStrike pretty much same. CrowdStrike just consolidating. That's what that is. CrowdStrike, we made that higher high, but then we made a lower low. It's consolidating. I kind of want to see it come break this high before I even touch it at 467. So once it breaks 467, then I potentially look for it. potential trades for it, but as of now, I don't want to mess with it while it's consolidating. Right. So yeah, that's pretty much our my bad, our weekly analysis for this week. And yeah, y'all get ready for this week. It looked like a pretty good week. It looked like a nice, decent week. News wise, earning wise, charts wise, it looked pretty smooth. So yeah, hopefully y'all have a good week, man. And again, we will be live tomorrow, in the morning. So be on the lookout for that. And y'all have a good one. The boy Keith is out. Peace.